ma'am. Now let's talk about what are some of the tips that you can help give to people uh, to not lose their gains that they've worked so hard for, especially as we still getting ready to roll into the end of the year where everybody starts eating a lot of food.
So you know what, when it comes down to the holidays,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
My thing is this: enjoy your food, right? But balance it out. What for me, I'm a family person. I love family. That's the whole reason of why I celebrate the holidays, is because I get to see family that I don't get to see on a normal. I am a working mom. I run my business. I'm in the military. I still got my own individual responsibilities and goals. So for me, I'm realistic. I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to have that cake or pie. I'm not going to sit here and tell you don't go and eat turkey and ham and the collard green. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. But I am going to tell you it's to balance it out. What is the purpose of turning up, getting drunk? What is the purpose of overeating? And then you sit on the couch and you sleep when Thanksgiving and Christmas is supposed to be holidays that you spend with your family and your time. How do you get through that, right? Without going to sleep? You don't. So what I say is bring your portion plate. All my clients got a portion plate. Get your portions and enjoy it and let that be. Now, if you get a little hungry, then now you go into your portion sizes, get a little bit of this, get a little bit of that, and then we go from there. Don't deny yourself, but don't overdo it. Don't go and get 4 grandma's biscuits. Get your one, enjoy it, and remember that Thanksgiving is only a day. You understand what I'm saying? Christmas is only a day. The new year is only a day. You still got to deal with the health issues, the high blood pressure, the cholesterol, the lack of self-confidence tomorrow. Don't overeat today because you can. So balance it out. Enjoy yourself. Spend time with your family and go from there. That would be one approach to that. The second approach that I would tell my clients is ask yourself, really, what are you missing? For me, I love my mother's chicken. Oh my God, my mother seems like on Thanksgiving, she put a little extra something in the fried chicken. And I don't eat fried foods a lot, and so for me, that's what I'm looking forward to. So if that's what I want, that's what I'm going to indulge in, meaning I'm going to have maybe 2 or 3 pieces, and that's going to be it. I'm not going to have the cake. I'm not going to have my grandmother's German chocolate cake. I'm not going to have the sweet potato pie. I'm not going to have those things because I understand what my goals are and how to balance. That's going to be it. You can figure out what it is that you're missing and what you're looking forward to. And that is what your plate will be consistent of versus having a little bit of every single thing,
Yes, ma'am.
being able to portion those things out. And then two, again, I said it before, it's only a day. It's only a day, and if you're willing to risk all your gains and your goals for the holidays, then imagine what you have been doing for the last 15, 20 years of your life.
Okay. Okay. Now let's expand on that because one of the things that we see, and I know that we have an audience of people that are really committed, but then we have the people that maybe have challenges with that.
Yeah.
So a person to say, well, I'm trying to, and one of the questions we ask kind of references that. I'm not trying to pick on the person in the audience, but I'm trying to use this as an example.
Yeah.
So they may have a fitness goal to get to this point, and then once they get to that point, they figure I met my goal, and then they stop working out. And so how do we help that person to understand how not to lose everything? Because you say, well, I want to lose 20 pounds, but then once you lose 20 pounds, you stop doing what it took to lose the 20 pounds.
Okay.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know what? It's always going to be consistency is the key.
Okay.
Right? And I always use the job because the job is what gives us the ability to be thrown out, go on vacation, take our children out, pay for the things that we need to pay. If you stop learning, right, you get into a job and your base pay is $13. Are you going to stop working there because you make $13? Are you going to stop there at 13? You're going to evaluate, am I able to pay my bills? What am I lacking in? How late am I? Am I working from check to check? You're going to evaluate those things. And I always go back. Then when I go back to fitness, I say, well, hey, listen, how about this? If you worked out 5 days a week and you got to this goal and you had to work day in and day out, what do you think you have to do to maintain this or keep or to continue on? The same thing. You're going to have to put the skin in the game. Now, could you go from 5 days to 3 days? Absolutely. But that just means you got to be even more intentional about what your workouts look like, right? Because I used to work out 6 days a week, but I don't have to, right? I can work out 3 or 4 days a week and be okay with it. But in order to get to my optimal level, my 6 days are going to be required, right? Based on my program. And so it's a reminder to them that even if you stop, you're going to be right back where you were, because your body's not going to change by itself. You get older every year, right? You know, your day to day doesn't look the same. You might have emergencies here. You might have emergencies there. You might got some, promotions coming up. You might got school coming up. Your day to day doesn't look the same. Your sleep pattern is not the same. So what makes you think if you stop right here at this 20 pounds that you're going to stay the same and not gain that weight back? So you have to make it realistic to their reality, because a lot of people do stop. They stop, they got to their goal, but then they realize, geez, that weight came back quickly as soon as you started to eat and go back to the same habits. Bad habits will always follow you if you're not consistent with the good ones.
Okay. So let me ask you, and this is something that I noticed because I work out a lot. So go to the gym on a regular basis. Also will go to the gym usually the same time every day because of my work schedule.
Right.
And what I would notice is that I would always see the same people in there at the same time. So what do you think is the difference between the mindset of a person that decides to just be consistent with their workout and the mindset of a person that I might work out 6 months and then take off 6 months. Next year, I might work out 3 months. And then we know, because I know the fitness space, is that a lot of people after the holidays decide it's time to work out. That slacks off as we get later into the year. Then they pick up again at the top of the year and they kind of stay on that schedule. What do you think is the difference between the mindset of those two types of people?
The value of their health, right?
Okay.
One of the biggest things that I realized when it comes down to that is that there's a lot of people who never exercise. There's a lot of people who never really put in, for me, I'm an athlete. I started at the age of 3. I was bred into working out. My brother was a football player. My mom played softball. I was around it. There are some people out here who've never played sports, who've never done anything. And you get into a place where you become uncomfortable and you don't know how to change it. And when you get introduced to exercise, it hurts. It's uncomfortable. You're doing uncomfortable things. Like, those things in general will cause a person to have that mindset, because when it hurts, they stop. When they don't see what they want to see, it stops. You got to learn to condition. A lot of my clients, have been with me for over 2 to 3 years. Because of that conditioning. You've got to condition the mind just as much as you've got to condition the body. And a lot of times a person has to see the process and understand the process. And this is why good trainers are needed out here. Good people who are educated, people who are willing to have patience, willing to teach, and willing to pour into their clients, just like I'm doing right now. Being able to explain that it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've never experienced the heavy side, but I experienced after having my son, going from 164 pounds to 126. I was in kids' clothes. I've never been that small. You understand what I'm saying? And so, with me having that factor, I don't tell my clients, oh, I know exactly what you feel, or who've been on the heavy side, but it was a struggle for me to even gain a pound for 4 years. I ate everything in the book and I wouldn't do it. But it was the way I was doing it. But when I did gain the weight back, I gained it back. I was 39% body fat and at 140. So, it's conditioning. Because I did it the wrong way, I gained it back and didn't look the same. And I didn't like it. I almost risked my career doing that. And a lot of times people have to see that. They've got to experience that bad. They've got to experience the hardships. They got to experience those things in order to kind of be nourished into changing their mindset. Changing your mindset is one of the hardest things anyone can do.
Okay. So let me ask you something. And we're going to keep adding on, but I want to kind of reference something you talked about.
Oh, yeah. Keep going.
Yes, ma'am. So when I had got a trainer one time and we started working out, he hit me with a lot of volume on the first workout.
Ooh,
now, because I grew up playing a lot of sports, I wasn't going to say, well, no, it's too much. I'm just going to do it because you told me to do it.
Yeah.
because that's how I was raised. But for a person that you're working out with, how do you try to look at programming their volume and their intensity when you first start working out with them? Because he didn't know I could take that kind of volume, even though I could.
Yeah.
But how do you kind of work with that? Because what some people could probably do is get scared away from the intensity and the volume and feel like, well, I can't work out because it's too much.
Well, listen, I get that all the time because then people think that I do. So,
Okay.
one thing is I do a fitness test,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And we go from the 2 pounds all the way up to the 25, 30, 40 pounds. A lot of my clients, they don't make it past the 20. So for me, I stop right there and I say, all right, this is where we're going to start with the 10 pounds. We'll build up to the 25, especially when I know they struggle, right?
Okay.
I'm not coming in and throwing, 25, 30 pound weights. I would have injured plenty of my clients already. And I'm not doing that.
Yes,
So we
ma'am.
start low and we build up. So anytime that you get somebody that's just throwing volume at you, that's the time to run. That's the time to run. I mean, there's no way that you can tell me that I can lift 300 pounds just by looking at me.
Yeah.
You've got to give a fitness test, see what they can do. And in their first couple of workouts, we start working with different weights. And when you notice they struggle, take that weight down and help them build up to that. And a lot of people see that. People ought to make a mistake from those bad training styles. No, that's definitely not welcome at all, because that's
No.
going to lead to injury and discouragement.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so then let's talk about your ideal client. So how
Okay.
would you describe your ideal client that you normally like to work with that works good? Because every fitness person that works in the space has different ideal clients. So how would you normally describe your ideal client, the person that would best benefit from what you bring to the table?
So for me, most of my clients, I'm going to use the majority of them because I do have a few outliers, right?
Okay.
Most of them are looking to lose 15 or more pounds, right? That's the main thing. They want to lose weight. They're not looking for maintenance. They're not looking for balance. But they're looking to lose 15 or more pounds. They are over the age of 35, because at that point in 35 is when your body starts to do a lot of different things. You start to feel a little thing, a little bit, unless you're an athlete. And then that's where my outliers come in, because around that age 30, 25, 30, if you're an athlete, you start to feel it and know exactly how your body's going to feel later. And then they struggle with balance. Most of the women that I work with, and men, their mothers, their husbands, they have been working all of their lives. They've raised their children, grandchildren, some great grandchildren, and they're looking for convenience. They're looking for something that's at home, because 95% of my clients are virtual. They're global. The furthest out is Ukraine,
Mm.
right? They enjoy change, but they despise the process, right? And when I say that, is that they want to change. They know what they want to look like, but the process is what gets them that consistency. So they need that help building consistency. Um, my clients are mobile, meaning that they don't mind going to the gym. They don't want to, but they don't mind. Going to the gym. They rather be at home, but again, like I said, they don't mind. Um, and they love support, right? That's one of the biggest things. People that they don't mind being accounted for, because they call me the warden because I'm super accountable. I'm gonna call you and say, why didn't you log your workout today? We're gonna talk about that. Not a yell, not a scream, but why didn't you do that? Well, I was too busy. Well, let's log it. I don't get it the next time. Tell me why. And we talk about that, because that accountability helps me to help them to be accountable for their individual action, their individual process, their individual decision making in their health and wellness, right? And so we talk about it. And some of them are dealing with things at home. We walk through those processes and whatnot. So yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you another question. Why do you think women, I wouldn't say all women, but some women got the idea that lifting weights isn't something that they should be involved in, that actually touching a weight, pushing iron is not something that they should do?
You know, I it's because it's gonna be the media.
Okay.
You get these women out here, who lie about what they look like. the women out here who are using drugs, steroids, and are not telling, the honest truth. They look at the mishaps, all the crazy things that people are doing on TikTok, like, and Instagram and Facebook. Like, it's a disaster to break those stereotypes. But my thing is this. Let me share this little story with you.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was 16 when I was first sexually assaulted. Lena in the comments brought this up, and I wanted to make sure that I said this. I was 16 and I was a very, very small girl. I was well endowed, but I did not have a lot of strength because I didn't lift weights at the time. But I was sexually assaulted, and I later lost a child, in that process. And I used to always feel if I could have had the strength to fight off, then I would. Well, I'm also a survivor of military sexual trauma where I had the strength to fight off my assailant. I had the strength to fight off, that big guy that he was. I've had, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I had the strength. A lot of us women walk around here, we want to be cute. We want to, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we don't want to be strong. We want the males to lift the bags and do all this other kind of stuff. And I'm not against feminism, and I'm not against that softness. But we women got to learn to protect ourselves. I'm not into walking around carrying, being lit all the time with something on my waist. I am not that violent a person. But when something happens to me, I'm going to give you a run for my money. And lifting weights in general, I don't lift heavy, right? I don't lift heavy at all. 20 to 25 pounds, I'm good with that. Right. And I'm not saying that you have to be, but just being able to know that I was able to protect myself off an assailant, not once, but twice. That right there speaks volumes of why weightlifting is important. You can't naturally gain that strength by lifting grocery bags and maybe lifting a box and lifting a baby. You can't. In this world today, you've got to protect yourself at all costs. And sometimes, just knowing that you're able in general to be able to handle yourself and take care of yourself, that right there in itself is already a game changer. But I'm about to be 38 years old. You understand? I mean, excuse me, I lied, 39. Lord, but but I'm about to be 39. I don't look like it. And I'm still outdoing some of these 20-year-olds out here in the military. They can't run faster than me. They can't, this right here just sets me apart from my peers as a senior non-commissioned officer and as a drill sergeant in the Army. It's a part of respect that you get as well. You know what I'm saying? For yourself. And to know that you're stepping in your own good health and your own good wellness. And I think that when we out here and we're not lacking anything when it comes down to how we feel about ourselves. It gives you so much energy. I've been up since 4. I ain't took no nap today. You would think I had tons of coffee and energy drink. Have nothing. This is all from good food, good exercise, and doing what I do best. So ladies, when I tell you that lifting weights gives you more than just the muscles, it gives you everything that you're looking for. It tones and tightens. It builds, that endurance, that metabolism that you're looking for, that drive. So you're not sucking down the sodas and the coffees and the energy drinks every now and then. You're getting good sleep at night. You're not tossing and turning. You're not snoring like Yogi the Bear. Like, there's so many benefits that weightlifting offers you, and it offers your body. You're taking yourself out of the numbers of the American Heart Association. You're taking yourself out of the numbers out of those who've got arthritis, who've got high cholesterol, high blood pressure. You're taking yourself out of those numbers with lifting weights. Cardio can help, but it doesn't do the trick. Your weightlifting and your cardio is what's going to get you to where you need to be. So there are various numbers of reasons and that I can sit here and go on and on about on why lifting weight is important. And mind you, my oldest client is 76 years old, and her doctor said to her, the best thing that she could have done to herself was get with me, simply because we're keeping her health situations at bay. They're not exacerbating, and she looks good, and she's still confident about herself and still feeling gracious, about who she is, not with the saggy skin, not with the excess, but she feels good. 76 and still rocking with me. Oh, we doing something. So so that's my little spiel on weightlifting, because ladies, it sucks. It sucks when I hear, those types of things, and I see it. I hear what people say, I don't want to look like a man. I don't want to do this. Baby, you can't. You can't. Realistically, you can't. Right? You know what I'm saying? But you complaining that you want to go get surgery on your arms, your legs, your back. You want to get this removed, that removed. Why are you going to pay all that money to do that when you could do it yourself and use that money to buy your new clothes when you go out of the country? Come on now.
Okay, I understand.
All right, what
Okay,
about my little trainer spiel?
no, it's good. So now I want to ask you some questions about the industry. Just two quick questions, right?
Yeah, sure.
So something I noticed, because I'm on Instagram a lot and I follow a lot of fitness people on Instagram. And what I've noticed is a lot of the workouts are very, to me, over the top. And one thing because I grew up playing sports, is I got programmed to do very basic workouts. And you just do the same basic workouts over and over and over again. You just try to improve your performance over those workouts. You try to build the base of your pyramid and work up. But one thing I noticed is a lot of the workouts are just really over the top, a lot of really crazy plyometrics, a lot of really crazy, workout moves. Why do we think, or why do you think those are so famous in like the online fitness spaces?
Just the same way as fitness has become so sexualized,
Okay.
right? It's entertaining. It gives people like, ooh, oh my God, I would never do that, right? They don't understand the fundamentals and the basics. Somewhere or another that got lost, which is where, I come in. I'm the fundamentals. I'm the basic kind of person. And, as Drop 16 TV said, the marketing, it's everywhere. I think that the over the top is what's getting people injured, and a lot of people are not connecting those dots. I like basics. Give me the basics, because the basics is what's going to save your life in the end. The basics is going to be where the normal person starts from. Now, if you're able to do all the extra stuff on the top, yeah, it's entertaining, but make sure you let them know it took you a long time to get there. It took you a long time to do that. And it's only for entertainment purposes, but they won't do that.
Okay, I feel you. Okay. And then the last question I want to ask you is that, let's say they're a fitness professional,
Mhm.
and they want to create a business, but because so many people are doing, a lot of people feel like they're getting lowballed. Do you have any suggestions for how people in that particular space can operate and not feel like they're not getting their value out of the industry?
Do it and be true to yourself, because I am a product of that. There were
Okay.
so many people around me that did it, and I used to look at, some famous, fitness people. And I used to say, I can never get there. I don't have the money to record. I don't do that. A lot of the stuff that you see, I record on my cell phones. I record on my iPad. I do what I do. I love what I do. And I am a firm believer that my passion will come out to those people who hear me and know that they want to start from the beginning. Yes, am I challenging? Yes, am I accountable? I am, but I'm going to start you from the bottom up so that you can understand that you've got to build your foundation and you go up from there. And so I am, don't ever give up on your dreams because of what other people do. Go down the aisles of a grocery store. How many different loaves of bread do you see out there? There's Marita, there's Sunbeam, there's I don't even eat bread, so I don't even know. Nature's own, right? There are tons of loaves out there. They're making the same type of bread out of the same flour, right? But they put a different name on it, and you see everybody says something different about it. Somebody likes it more than the other. And there's going to be somebody out here that likes you and loves what you do, as long as you stay true to yourself and you stay true to your brand. Once you do those two things and you give them that authentic you, then nobody can take away what you've established. But if you're trying to be like the next person and you trying to get out here and do things that are out of the scope of out of your lane, you're going to find that people are going to run from you more than they're going to come close. So, I'm going to tell you to go for it, because if I had stopped, I wouldn't have made the impact that I have on the many people and traveled where I have to influence the people, right? I think that that's a huge, huge deal for me, because I didn't expect for this to go anywhere. Where I am today It wasn't. This was only supposed to be a quick little money thing for me to get some money for me and my son, make sure we got a roof over our head. But I have written a book. I have spoken in 7 different countries around the world. I have spoken to over 10,000 people. I have been on numerous of podcasts, just such as this. I have been in magazines, on the cover of magazines. I've been nominated for many awards. This was not supposed to be where I am, but I stayed true to me. And I listened to the people that were saying, Nisi, we need you. Nisi, I love what you do. I love who you are. I've got your back. And that is why I'm still here, because there are going to be people who don't like me. There are many, and that's fine. But I've got more that love me and rock with me hard. And so therefore, and I built that. A lot of these people I've never known. They're global. The lady from Ukraine, listen, I don't know anybody over there. But she found me on Instagram. And she loved just loved what I was doing. We had a conversation once, and we had a conversation twice, and then she was ready to invest in me and what I do. And she's still with me after a year. So you know, when we start looking at things and we start looking at where we want to go, you got to believe in yourself. Trust in who you are. Trust in that idea and that vision, and pour into it and go forward. Don't care about who doesn't support you now, because as long as, again, do what you got to do for you and your brand, your support will come.
Okay. So in closing, is there anything that you want to close off the audience on, some final thoughts that they can go ahead and walk away with?
Fitness is a journey.
Okay.
Fitness is a journey. Okay. And every year something is going to be different about your journey every time. You know, you're going to change every single year. So that means that you need to change, your fitness style, your fitness process. You're going to have to change every year. The thing about it is that you got to be consistent with that in order to maintain what it is that you're doing. Your body will always tell you how you feel and what it needs. Listen to it. Listen to it, right? Because it's just your body will give you what you need. And when you know you're not in good health, remember, your health is your wealth. And if you're lacking in on your health, you're going to notice that there's a lack in your monies too. And so just keep pushing at it. Every single day, every step that you make counts. So keep going.
Okay. So I really appreciate it. Appreciate everybody coming out. If you got any questions, hit us up in the comments and reach out to Coach. Make sure I pronounce this correctly. Coach Nisi.
Yes.
Coach Nisi at Trainer Nisi. You can find her on social media. And I want to really tell you to go ahead and reach out to and invest in your health, invest in your fitness as you go into this new year, because it is the most important thing. It's the only thing you cannot buy back with money. Mm-hmm. Right. So I tell people to really make that important, because you're going to get older. You can't get that back with money, but you can try to maintain your health as you get older, because you also cannot get back that money. And I'm somebody that worked in healthcare. I've seen a lot. You cannot buy your health back once you lose it. So you got to make sure that you protect it, and everything else normally start falling in place. So I appreciate everybody for coming out. This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. I'll talk to you later.